Hello, what's up YouTube? Today we're breaking down how I shot and produced a uLesson commercial with 7 scenes shot and produced in one day. This is one of the most hectic adventure I've ever carried myself upon, but I was proud of how the commercial came out and I can't wait to show you guys the behind the scenes. As normal with every project, the client reached out to me and they wanted to shoot this commercial. They had a script already, they had their story already, and they had the budgets that they wanted to work with. There was a level of production I was trying to produce and I didn't want to also walk away from it, so we decided to take this as a challenge to try to produce and shoot this commercial in one day. And the only way this was going to happen, because it had 7 scenes, was we tried to build more sets than moving from location to location, because obviously you can't move to 7 locations in one day. So we built 3 sets in one location and then we moved between 3 other locations. One of the scenes ended up being a stock footage, so that was -1 scene. So we literally shot about 6 scenes in one day. Pre-production went well, the clients loved the treatment, they loved the idea. I added my spice to it and how I wanted to execute the vision and the script, even though we had a little bit of back and forth. We knew this commercial required a lot of precision. We couldn't take chances in trying to guess or experimenting on set. So we had to draw out a storyboard frame by frame of everything we'll be shooting in pre-production, and I ran this through the clients and made them approve of that storyboard before we went on set to shoot. The storyboard was approved and we decided to go ahead with this amazing commercial. I remember shoot day vividly. I remember that morning it actually rained and I'm like, we don't have so much time to shoot this commercial and rain is already coming, but I think the rain ended like around 7-8ish. One of the major challenges we had on this scene was the crane took more than an hour to set up because the operator or the person that was setting up this crane probably didn't know what he was doing and we lost a huge amount of production time. The first scene we were to shoot was the bus scene, because the commercial was supposed to start with a school bus going to school and the next character, a hijabi girl, crossing the road simultaneously with the school bus, which had 2 different characters in it. And this shot was kind of complex because I needed the timing of everything to be exactly spot on. I needed the girl to be crossing at the perfect timing with when the bus was moving, so it required a whole lot of coordination. Did I even have an AD on this shoot? I don't think I had an AD. I think I had to do the AD myself.
Right, from your left to your right. This way I'm going up. Upward movement, not so fast. You get 1 take. I dey take God beg you now. 1 take. Why is the light green? Driver, are you ready? Roll camera. And action! Driver, action!
I had to do the AD myself. I had to direct everything by myself. On action, the camera was on the crane that pulls out from the window of the bus as the bus passes the traffic lights and the hijabi girl crosses the road. I think we shot on an Arri Alexa Mini and Arri Signature Prime. Fedworks was the DOP on this and he did exceptionally well with the lighting and everything he had to do. You focus like you're actually concentrating, like you want to know more exactly. So you're just watching it, so the camera will be from outside. So I want you to sit like this. Sit like this. Yeah, exactly. Just to relax. You carry it up. You understand? I think we were supposed to wrap up that scene at 10. We ended up wrapping up at I think 11, 12. But it was a success. The next scene we did was the library scene. The library scene went very, very well. I think we did some really nice lighting. Fred did his magic. We had a reference we were going to match for the lighting of the library scene. In the library scene, another character was supposed to walk into the library sit down, and there was supposed to be the hijabi girl we saw in the beginning in the background, like trying to read and not understanding, and then she eventually uses the uLesson app to understand what she was reading. Yeah, that was the general idea. The next scene we were to film was the young little girl in the living room just attending her lessons while her mom passes around. So this scene, we shot 2 scenes in the house. We had the bedroom scene and we had the living room scene, and we combined both of them to shoot in one house. In this scene, we had a technical shot which required Creed Motions to be on set. Creed Motions is an amazing VFX artist. I featured him on this channel. Watch this video here. The camera was also coming through the interface of the screen and come out of the screen to the young girl while she's reading. We achieved it by a slider, just pushing to her, and then in post we did the magic. And yeah, she picks up the tab and continues to read. But at this point, something happened while we were shooting. We actually lost daylight, and this scene was supposed to be a day scene. We're kind of running out of time. We've lost daylight, as you can see it, but our legendary lights guys are creating the daylight here. We're basically shooting 2 scenes in this location. We're shooting a sitting room scene and we're shooting a bedroom scene. I don't want to give too much spoilers, so you see the commercial, go and watch the commercial, you see the scene there. Basically that's what it is right now. Losing daylight, but they got lights. Yeah, and see you guys. We had to use artificial lights to make up for the daylight. I mean, if you're in filmmaking industry, it should be normal to you right now. We do this almost every time. But we had an incredible gaffer on set. His name is GT. I'm going to link his profile here. Check him out. He did some amazing work with the lighting. Him and his crew were extremely good. We're extremely on point. We're sharp. They moved really, really fast. Moved on to the next scene, which was the boy in his bedroom who loved science stuff, looking out through a telescope. Yeah, that scene was obviously supposed to be a night scene, so we didn't have so much to stress about. It went well. I mean, I must mention that directing children is a whole different ball game. I think there's supposed to be a different course on directing children, but I scaled through. I mean, that was one of my first major encounter with directing children. Right now, I think I've directed the worst of children, so it shouldn't be a big deal anymore. We directed the child, the boy. He looked through his telescope, he sees something, and then we see him researching on what he sees in the telescope on the uLesson app. I loved how it came out, and then we moved to our final scene. At this point, we've already spent 12 hours on set. On the norm, everyone's supposed to be wrapping because a production time is supposed to be 12 hours. But I had a team of amazing people that are really, really determined to create exceptional work, and we pushed on even past production time to continue this production.
This is 10 minutes to 12, and this is another set, and my favorite scene. Come, let me show you. That is my favorite scene because we are working with a color palette, and the color palette is blue and white. That's
anything you're saying, sister, you're just saying the trash shit. Why they come here?
Sorry for how he rudely interrupted me. And by the way, the set designer is Kelvin, and he's very, very good at what he does. The set is very, very cool, calm, and collected. It is very, very detailed.
We had an amazing art director and set constructor, set designer, Kelvin. Kelvin Creations is an amazing set designer and set constructor. You can build literally anything. Anytime building any set is my go-to person. Either him or no one is building at all. Time was literally running behind. It was like 12 midnight at this time. One of the things that took us the most time to set up at the studio was setting up the lights, because this was a very tall studio and we had to rig the lights up. So that took literally about 2 to 3 hours to set up. But after that, I think we moved pretty fast. And the first scene we shot at the studio was the presidential scene. So this was supposed to transition from the girl in the living room to the same girl. Now she's now the president giving a speech. And yeah, that scene was pretty straightforward. The next scene we shot was the laboratory scene. I was really skeptical about this set because being in a laboratory, I gave the the art director a reference, and he assured me that he was going to deliver. And to be honest, to a large extent, he actually delivered. I think most people will not even realize that was a set, except to see the behind the scenes. On that set, we originally casted someone differently for the boy that was transformed from the library to the laboratory scene. But on shooting that scene, we realized that there was not so much resemblance between the boy and the actor. Luckily, one of the extras on set looked like the boy, so we had to change cast impromptu. It was additional cost to the production because the other actor has been paid. I'm glad I actually made that decision because the resemblance really connected, even with the transition that I was trying to do. I made like a match cut transition to the guy. I remember vividly how we were mixing the lab chemicals or whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, I call this garnished green.
That was very funny. I think the time at this point was around like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. We moved on to our next scene, our final scene, which was the hospital scene. One of the major problems we had in this scene was, for some certain weird reasons, everyone plus the set designer, the producer, the director, we forgot about the stethoscope. And this stethoscope was a key factor to our transition from the girl in the library to her now becoming a doctor as she's older. And no one literally remembered the stethoscope for some weird reasons. And it was 4:35 a.m. Where are we going to get the stethoscope from? At that time, I was literally mad and angry. Like, the entire aim and transition of the entire thing was flawed at that point. And it was midnight. Where are we going to get a stethoscope from? But as I said, our art director was really proactive. I don't know, he just drove out to a nearby hospital and rented their stethoscope. And in the next like 20 minutes, we had one on set. And we ended up filming the scene. It came out really nice and I loved it. And yeah, that's basically it. We checked our final check on the shot list and we discovered we got all our shots.
And it's officially a wrap on uLesson TV set.
And we had to call it a wrap. Honestly, it's easy for me to just narrate this entire thing, but being on set was a hell of pressure on us because we ended up shooting at least 22 hours on set without sleep. I'm going to play it just right after this video. If you loved the commercial, you can check it out on my page. See you guys on the next video. Peace out.
It looks impossible till someone gets it done. I know you feel overwhelmed cause your journey's just begun. And there is no limit to how far you can go, cause you get stronger and you get wiser every day you grow. So reach for the stars, keep raising the bar. Nothing can stop you from being who you are. The help that you need is now in your hands. Now you are in control, so welcome to the future, where nothing is impossible for you. You can do it all. Welcome to the future, a world